I think I have been able to better connect with my students, and so therefore we've had a much better relationship, because I think that I work harder at making sure that whatever lesson we are doing connects with who they are as people and as a generation. They're more engaged. That's the word I was looking for.
My students are more engaged in doing different activities, and it's not just sit and take notes and stuff. We're actually up and moving around and doing more things.
Well, my students come in every day saying, "Miss, what are we doing today?" I do not have a predictable classroom anymore. They don't know, do they need their book? Do they not need their book? Are we playing with Play-Doh today? Are we rolling the dice? Are we in our chairs? They don't know. And so I love that I am unpredictable to them. They have no idea what I'm going to pull on them today.
We do the same thing, and so they look at the board and they're like, "What are we doing? What is it? Are we taking notes?" "No, we're not taking notes." And they're like, "What are we doing then?"
I use 3-2-1 so much in my classroom because I have a lot of discussion and the kids do not like to talk. And so I have them write down 3 whatever, 2 whatever, 1 whatever, in the realm of what we're teaching. Sometimes it's write down 3 questions you have, 2 thoughts you had about this character, and then write down 1 connection from this text to real life or something, and then we have a discussion. They already have something written down, and it helps give them something to talk about. So 3-2-1 is something I use probably weekly.
I like using commit and toss, which is what I call snowball, where the students have to write something down and then they wad it up and they like to throw it. Of course, with some of my classes, we have to throw it in the garbage can so they don't throw it at each other, and then pick them out and read them to the rest of the class. So my students who don't like talking actually get a say in what we're discussing. The other thing we use almost every day is CER, where it's claim, evidence, and reasoning. In a science classroom, when we're making discussions, they can give me their reason or their answer, but then I'm like, "But why? Give me more. Can you add to that?"
I came into this program at a time when I was getting very bored with teaching. I came from very textbook-based, read the story, answer the questions type of education, and that's what I kind of rolled right into. It was starting to get really frustrating, especially post-COVID. It was starting to get frustrating because students weren't responding and they weren't learning. This really helped me understand that I've got to meet the kids where they are. They are not a generation like my own. And so my philosophy now is more about look at who they are as a class and tailor to them and their personalities and meet the class as a whole. I used to say, "Oh, well, this kid needs this kind of instruction and this kid needs this kind of," and it used to be, so much paperwork. But when you use the techniques that I've learned, such as the different strategies, 5E lessons, you're able to catch all of those in one.
I got into this a long time ago from the very beginning. It was at a time where I had just recently started teaching. And so at the beginning of my teaching career, I was given a set of textbooks and a classroom, and they said, "Go change the world." But I had no direction. So I started with the textbooks. And then whenever I got into ARA and started learning different ways to teach, I just kind of threw the textbooks out. I know what my state standards are. I know what I need to teach. And then I just look everywhere. I look on the Learn lessons. I look on the internet. I just find anything and everything that I can incorporate and kind of teach like a pirate to teach my lessons. So I'm using strategies. I'm using Learn lessons that may or may not be for science, but I can make them work for science. Anything that'll get them interested and motivated to learn, because these kids are a little bit different than what we've had before.
My husband is a teacher at another school. And so whenever I come home from these workshops, I unload everything on him. Oh my gosh, I learned this, I learned that. And you've got to be doing this in your classroom. This would be great for you, because he's a music educator, very different than English. So he does not have a traditional classroom setting. But then this year he moved into he does have one traditional class setting where they're more project-based, but they are more sit in a desk and not performance. And he's teaching composition. And I'm like, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. So I'm sharing with him. And then he went to a conference and he was like, can you meet my friend Katie and tell her what you know about, or what you've learned about AI and how to use that in the classroom? So I run home, tell my husband, he shares with his colleagues, and he says, but you got to call my wife. So sometimes I get phone calls from random people and say, I know your husband, and he said... So I sometimes get that. And of course, anybody that I know, that I see, I'm like, have you heard of the K20 website? You've got to look up, this is where the learn lessons are. Here's where strategies are. I've even shared this stuff with homeschool moms. My sister is a homeschool mom, and I want to make sure that my nephews have the best education possible. So I have shared all the strategies I can with her as well.
Then also sharing with teachers at our school. So we get new teachers every year. Mm-hmm. And so sharing with them is also what I do.
I'm working on redoing all my lessons into 5E lessons. I've already started. My original lessons are all introduce the lesson, teach the lesson, test the lesson, practice the lesson, test the lesson. And but the 5E lessons helped me to see that that explore part of the lesson is really important, and I've been leaving that out all these years. And then the extend part is where the kids make the connection of how this is going to work for me in the rest of my life, and it's really important for them to have. So I'm working through all as many of my lessons as I can. I'm kind of nerdy now, and I like to do that in my free time. So I've been making 5E lessons over what I have. And not all of these lessons are my lessons. There's lessons that I've grabbed from other people, but now I want them to look like the way I want to teach, which is using 5E structure and lots of strategies that get my kids up moving and not going, oh, where's my book and my paper? So my future is hopefully full of lots of 5E lessons restructuring.
Since I've taken all my lessons from all over the place, I'd kind of like them to look a little bit different. So I've been going through them and adding different E's to what's missing. And then especially what you said about the extend, getting it to relate to their real life is left out in most of the lessons that I have found. Yeah. So that's really important.
I just think that it came to me at a time when I was probably going to leave teaching. I was bored. I was looking for other things to do, and it's sort of reinvigorated my teaching career. So it's made me feel like I'm not as out of touch with this generation as I thought I was. I can do it.
It came to me at the beginning of my career, so it makes it exciting. Before that, I was just like, oh, I got a book, I got a classroom, and the students are not very engaged. So it makes it more fun to go to work.